Good morning, and welcome to the 2019 Arthur J. Prescott National Honor Society Tapping and Induction Ceremony. Please respectfully stand and join the current members in saying the pledge to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We would like to thank our Superintendent, Paul Woodard, for joining us today in this ceremony and supporting all of the students of Newton Falls Schools. At this time, I would like to introduce our high school principal, Mr. John Crowder, who would like to share a few words.
Good morning and welcome. Welcome to the annual Arthur J. Prescott National Honor Society induction. This is one of the most prestigious days for educators. It's a day that we get to recognize our academic achievers of the highest quality. At this time, I want to welcome any board members, our superintendent, family, friends, parents, but most importantly, our students that have served in the Honor Society and those 18 students that are soon to be inducted. This morning, I'm going to take my remarks in a slightly different direction than I normally do. National Honor Society is one of the most prestigious educational organizations in the field of education, and membership into this society is looked upon by many leaders throughout the world, whether they're in business, politics, or whatever their career may lead. National Honor Society is a defining quality that these leaders want within their organizations. It's founded upon being, as already mentioned, one of the highest achievers in academics. They've already demonstrated leadership amongst their peers, and they provide service to those that are in need and give up many, many of their own personal hours for this service. The list of positive characteristics continues to go on and on. But the key word that I mentioned earlier is membership. Being a member of a group, in this particular case, the National Honor Society. With the decline of the family unit and society values that we are transitioning through, National Honor Society's original idea, built upon characteristic leadership and service, almost is non-existent in today's society values. Membership into groups amongst the young people sitting in the audience is more important to them than membership within the own family unit. Members of groups, the tasks, the requirements that are needed to become a member of a group sometimes overshadow the importance of being in there. You're asked to do positive or negative things just to be a member of that group. Fortunately, National Honor Society is still built upon positive values, positive characteristics, and membership into that group is still prestigious. Because membership is so important, they are willing to do things. Students are willing to do things faster for their group's overall image than they are for their own personal well-being or their family's well-being. I'm going to go out and do something to be a member of a group before I'll do something to help my little brother or sister, or before I'll do something to help my mom and dad out. That group membership is so vital in their eyes. Being accepted. Here in the high school, we've taken on a challenge this year. We have a group that we've started called Justified 22. And I do want to thank them this morning. It's our freshman class, and I want to thank them for taking it upon themselves to wear their green shirts in support of the leaders that are soon to be inducted, and support for the leaders that they've been watching all year long. In closing, I do want to thank these students seated here on stage for all their hours of service, all the many things that they have done for Newton Falls schools and the greater Newton Falls community. I want to challenge the 18 inductees to provide those same hours of service, provide the leadership, and provide the role model necessary for those seated in the seats to your left and to your right. But most importantly, to the sophomore class, you'll get your chance next year to be inducted into this special society. And the class, Justified 22, I challenge you to start your pathway of service, start your pathway of leadership, and remember, positive characteristics will take you much farther in our society than we are at the moment. With that, I thank everyone for coming this morning. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce our advisor, Miss Marion Donnelly.
Good morning. This morning we will formally be recognizing those students who have been selected by our chapter's faculty council to be members of the Arthur J. Prescott chapter of the National Honor Society. Today, we will call 17 new members and 1 honorary member. Once inducted, members are charged with the responsibility to demonstrate the qualities that earned them the honor of being inducted and continue to grow in these areas, always striving to be better tomorrow than they are today. Before I begin talking about this year's group's accomplishments, I would like to take a moment and acknowledge our honorary member inductee. We have not had an honorary member inducted into the National Honor Society chapter here in Newton Falls for many years. Over the course of this year, we had the pleasure of having an outstanding foreign exchange student who truly embodies the National Honor Society and what that represents. She has the scholarship, the character. She shows leadership, and her service while at our school has been nothing more than outstanding. 5 months ago, I began reviewing qualifications of honorary membership for her as she worked with our current National Honor Society members on nearly all activities that we participated in, freely volunteering her time to help anyone whenever it was needed. Let me say this again and rephrase it. It's important to emphasize that she is a guest in our country and was spending her free time volunteering for our community of Newton Falls. Those selfless acts are exactly what we look for in members of the National Honor Society. Countless staff here have expressed how she is someone who tries very hard and shows wonderful leadership, generosity, integrity, and concern for others. It is all of these traits that lead and have led her to being given the opportunity to honorarily join the National Honor Society chapter. Unfortunately, she cannot be here with us today as she is on a special trip to Chicago for foreign exchange students. But she will be inducted today as an honorary member and will sign our registry at our next National Honor Society meeting. Linda will be recognized during the tapping ceremony and will also be able to review the video of this ceremony and share it with her family in Italy. Let us now take a closer look at our current membership. As a group, you do not hear the National Honor Society advertising things that we do. We do it because it needs to be done, not because we expect accolades. We do a great deal, though, both individually and as a group. Each year, we try to participate in as much as we possibly can, and this year, we have helped out and provided services at several events throughout the district, including the elementary, or what are we calling it now, Middle? Well, their Winterfest and their Spring Carnival. We helped the technology department with programming the new Chromebooks this year. We continued our Red Ribbon Week campaign, began a role model program for the elementary and middle school boys who needed a little guidance to help them choose the right path. And we continue to maintain the Tiger Den Learning Center, which, by the way, we would love to see more of you using. With some of our fundraising, we were able to be secret Santas and purchase Christmas gifts for 40 of our elementary and middle school students who participate and are part of the backpack program. In addition to services provided to our fellow students, we have also reached outside of our school into our local community. We helped out by manning dinners and breakfasts, among other things, helped the Preservation Foundation, the Newton Falls Fireworks Committee, the Newton Falls Farmers Market, the library, the Cemetery Association, the VFW, local churches, food banks, Kiwanis, and other various organizations through their activities. We also, for the third year, participated in the Coins for Kids campaign and took part in the Random Acts of Kindness Day. Above these group activities, our members have also been working on individual service projects. Each member at least 30 hours of service to interests that were near and dear to their hearts. Some of these services include helping out at animal shelters, local churches, soup kitchens, volunteering at hospitals, the local library, rehab facilities, among others. Some of our members have gone well above the 30-hour requirement and are presently over 160 documented hours. In total, as a collective group this year, these students that you see sitting behind me have accumulated 676 documented community service hours since the end of last school year. Now, these are personal hours. They're not community service hours that our group has participated in. And they have also participated in sports and other clubs, as well as maintained their academic grade point averages. I truly believe that this demands a round of applause. Now, although these are great achievements, they did not do it seeking praise, because as National Honor Society members, they're just never satisfied. They believe that they can always do more, they can do better. They believe that there is always room for improvement within themselves. They focus on mantras such as, "We are human. We are not perfect. We try things. We make mistakes. We stumble, we fall. We rise again. We try again. We keep learning. We keep growing." Now, the author of those words is unknown, but they are more important for anyone who is striving to better their life and will help keep them grounded and humble, no matter what goals and accomplishments they may achieve. At this time, I would like to extend my congratulations to all of our new members who will be inducted today. I look forward to working with you and seeing how much you grow in the upcoming months and year to come. Howard Zinn once said, "Small acts, when multiplied by millions of people, can change the world." I challenge you to send a great message and change the world. Show great character and be the leader that others would want to emulate and that they would want their children to follow. Always keep learning. We never know everything, even if we think we do. Be someone who serves their community, not for the sake of just doing it, but so that the world can be a better place for even just that one person. Actually, that really goes to all of you here in this room. And to our current members, you will be graduating in a few months, and I challenge you to continue to be pillars in your community. And no matter what you do, don't ever allow yourself to stop learning or providing for your fellow man. Finally, I would like to address the entire student body and leave you with something that I learned a long time ago, back when I was in elementary school, you know, when the dinosaurs still roamed the earth. How people perceive you is important, and your behavior dictates that perception. If they feel that you are deceitful, manipulative, indifferent, or laissez-faire, Your behaviors and actions led them to this judgment. If they feel that you are caring, compassionate, helpful, tolerant, and respectful, your behaviors and actions led them to this judgment. Which message do you want to send? In closing, please think about what Andy Warhol said about change. He said, "They always say that time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself." Today, as this year's officers share the meaning behind the National Honor Society pillars, which are scholarship, leadership, service, and character, please listen to what they're saying with full attention. These pillars serve as a great foundation for life. As you listen to the descriptions, evaluate yourself. Do you demonstrate these qualities? Or is there an area where you're falling a little short? Remember, it is never too late to make a new start. It may be difficult to honestly examine yourself, but do it. It may be difficult to stand up to your peers or to make a change, but every day, work to be better. In your generation's words, not us dinosaurs when the hashtag symbol was really the pound sign. I heard another dinosaur out there. Let us hashtag our lives with hashtag always working to be better, and let that concept guide and mold our lives. Thank you.
This morning, the membership of the Arthur J. Prescott Chapter of National Honor Society will be inducting its new members. The candles burning before us is a symbol of our emblem, a burning torch superimposed upon a keystone supported at the base by the letters CSLS, representing the 4 pillars of National Honor Society. Our 4 additional officers will review these pillars and the qualities of the candidates. The first pillar we will be hearing of today, scholarship, will be explained by our Vice President, Justin Kuhl.
Scholarship denotes a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and study, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education is ended, for human education ends only with the end of life. Knowledge is one great element in life, which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past, the torch guiding us to understand the present, and the light that illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship.
The second pillar, leadership, will be explained by our Secretary, Taylor Benarsic.
Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking initiative in the classroom and in school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to reach their common goals of success. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interest for the interests of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a school, community, or nation, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed. Thus, to lead is a meaningful and substantive charge to each of our members.
The third pillar, service, will be explained by our treasurer, Anthony Mock.
Service can be established in the routine of the day's work, where many opportunities arise to help others both at the school and in the community. A willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without monetary compensation or public recognition is a quality we seek in our membership and promote for the entire student body. We are committed to volunteering our time and talents to the creation of a better tomorrow.
The fourth pillar, character, will be explained by our historian, Abigail Hauser.
Character is the force within the individual that distinguishes each person from others. It creates for each of us our individuality, our personality, and our goodness. It is that without which no one can respect oneself nor hope to attain the respect for others. It is this force of character that guides one through life and once developed grows steadily within. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant thought and action, the daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be, in reality, what we wish to appear to others, to be rather than to seem. By demonstrating such qualities as respect, reliability, honesty, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, caring, sincerity, and citizenship, we may hope to prove by example that we value character.
At this time, we will begin the tapping ceremony. As your name is called, please stand, walk to the front of the stage, and meet a National Honor Society member. Proceed to the stage for congratulations, to sign the official chapter membership registry, and to receive your certificate, pin, and membership card. National Honor Society calls Allison Sembach. National Honor Society calls Julie Koss. National Honor Society calls Kalina Spiker. National Honor Society calls Bailey Schrum. National Honor Society calls Trevor Hansel. National Honor Society calls Elizabeth Nutter. National Honor Society calls Brant Bungard. National Honor Society calls Hannah Petro. National Honor Society calls Alyssa Grunder. National Honor Society calls Hannah Carden. National Honor Society calls Zach Derry. National Honor Society calls Logan Kalonch. National Honor Society calls Elizabeth Barreca. National Honor Society calls Morgan Federoff. National Honor Society calls Gavin Ferris. National Honor Society calls Andrew Steffens. National Honor Society calls Keegan O'Connor. The National Honor Society now recognizes our honorary member, Linda Sanson. You've heard the pillars of our principles explained to you and are now ready to take the pledge. Current and new inductee members, please stand and repeat after me. I pledge to myself to uphold the high purpose of National Honor Society, to which I've been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands. I will be loyal to my school. And I will maintain and encourage the high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Congratulations, you are now members of the Arthur J. Prescott chapter of the National Honor Society. Please be seated. At this time, I'm going to turn the stage over to our guidance counselor, Mr. Scott Kernan, for the Buckeye Girls and Boys State Delegate presentation, as well as the Americanism Test results. Mr. Kernan.
Good morning. I'd like to congratulate the new inductees and their parents to the National Honor Society. Job well done. And now we're on to our Boys and Girls State recognition. Before we do that, I'd like to recognize this group of individuals that are here up on stage with me from our Newton Falls American Legion. We have with us today Donna Ball. Can't read with my readers. Donna Ball, Kim Shawless Ball, Bud Becker, and Rick Nelson representing the Newton Falls American Legion. Would you give them a round of applause? The Newton Falls American Legion is a pillar in our community. They do a lot of great things for our community as well as our school and our students. As you probably know, thousands and thousands of dollars every year for scholarships, and it's just an organization that you can count on every year here in Newton Falls. So we thank you for all that you do. One of the things that they do is to sponsor the Boys and Girls State process. And just to give you an idea a little bit of how this selection is for Boys and Girls State, I go into Miss Marsh's English classes every year, and I give a little snippet, about a 5-10 minute snippet of what's going to happen at Buckeye Boys and Girls State, what's involved. And then students will sign up if they want to get more information. And from there, I have last year's Buckeye Boys and Girls Staters meet us down into the boardroom here with anyone that's still interested. So those students will get to hear from last year's Boys and Girls Staters, their experience. And let me tell you, when those last year's students get on a roll and start talking about what they enjoyed and maybe some of the things they didn't even care for, it's an hour long, and they get excited and they get to share their experiences. From that segment right there, any students that are still interested in pursuing being a delegate for Boys and Girls State will sign up for interviews, and that's where our Legion comes in, and they send representatives to come in and interview the boys and girls, and they will make the selections then. So we appreciate your involvement and continued commitment to our students here. To give you an idea of just a little bit of what Buckeye Boys State is, Buckeye Boys State is an 8-day hands-on experience in the operation of the democratic form of government, the organization of political parties, and the relationship of one to the other in shaping of Ohio government. This year's Buckeye Boys State will take place from June 9th to the 16th, and it'll be held at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. So the boys will have about a 4.5–5 hour trip down to their destination. Buckeye Boys State was founded in 1936, and it is the largest boys state program in the nation, with an attendance of over 1,200 young men annually, representing over 600 high schools. Buckeye Boys State is proudly sponsored by, like I said, by the Ohio American Legion, and they are the largest veterans organization in the state of Ohio. At Buckeye Boys State, young men learn about city, county, and state government through a nonpartisan, objective education approach. They will develop friendships that will last a lifetime. They'll get to have experience on campus at a college, like I said, at Miami of Ohio University. They're going to be one thing good for the parents. You get a free week's vacation from your kid, free babysitting, right? And they get to experience what it's like to be away at college. So there's all kinds of, we talked about National Honor Society and the principles that's founded on. These same principles are instilled in our Buckeye Boys and Girls State as well. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and recognize the delegates that were accepted into Boys State, and I believe Donna Ball is going to come up and do that.
Good morning. Your Boys State candidates this year are Brant Bungard, Zach Derry, Trevor Hansel, Trent Jones, Bryce Moran, Gavin Fairs, Andrew Steffens, and Ethan Wolford. And I did want to make note that the numbers of applicants we're getting each year seems to be getting a little smaller. And I don't want you guys to have the misconception that you have to have an interest in being in a political office, working for the government, something like that. It's something that's great for anyone. And the young men and young women that come back from Boys and Girls State know much more about the government than any average adult out there. It's a great learning experience. You'll meet a lot of great people. You'll have friends that you'll have for the rest of your life. And so don't think you have to have a great interest in government. Please come.
Okay, thank you guys. You can sit down now. Good luck at Boys State. Maybe one of you will run for governor, and maybe one of you will be our next president. As long as it's not Bungard.
6 of them said during the interview they wanted to run for governor.
Okay. Buckeye Girls State. Buckeye Girls State is designed to educate Ohio's young women in the duties, privileges, rights, and the responsibilities of good citizenship. Girls State will be held from June 12th to June 18th, and Girls State is held right over here in Alliance at the University of Mount Union, so they only have about a 35-minute drive to get to their destination. The goals of Buckeye Girls State are to develop leadership and pride in American citizens, educate delegates about our system of government, get a greater understanding of American traditions, and stimulate a desire to maintain our government process. These young women will be involved in elections, government workshops, campaigning, party rallies, debating, voting, and other parliamentary procedures. And we're very happy to have Kim Shawless Ball, who will recognize the delegates for Girls State.
Sadie Andercott.
She's at the TCTC.
Oh, she's at okay. Julie Koss. Alyssa Dangerfield. Elizabeth Nutter. Allison Simback. And Bailey Schramm. This was very, very close this year. The last girl was the two girls were tied, and we had to go by their GPA. So please don't not sign up for this. This is a really good opportunity for you girls to go to. Thank you.
Congratulations, ladies. We hope you represent us well at Girls State. The next thing we want to acknowledge is also involving our American Legion. They sponsor what's called the Americanism Test every year. Been doing that for a long time, ever since I started in guidance, and I'm sure well before I was here. And this test measures students' knowledge on federal, state, local, city government. And I'm glad I don't have to take that test and pass it, because it's pretty difficult. And at this point, I think Donna Ball is going to come back up here and recognize the winners of this year's Americanism Test. That test is given to sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and the American Legion will recognize one boy and one girl, or in case of a tie, there'll be more than one in each of the sophomore, junior, senior classes.
Okay, we have one boy and one girl in each grade. For 12th grade, Spencer Griffiths. Autumn Young. For 11th grade, Logan Claunch. And Samantha Young. And I know Samantha's not here today because she's in D.C. She won for national level of Americanism, and that's a great, great, great honor. And we had our person who operates the Americanism Test for American Legion, he went back through as long as he had any records, and we haven't had anybody go to national before, so wow. For 10th grade, we had a tie. Spencer Caslow. And Gavin Burvish. And for the girls, we also had a tie. Bailey Adams. And Madison Haydette. And along with their certificate they get for their achievement, they also get a cash award of $75, and that's in your folder, so be careful with that. Hi, Nicholas.
No, all right, get off.
I have to embarrass my child.
Okay, congratulations, Americanism Test winners, and thank you once again for our American Legion being a part of this. And I believe Mr. Crowder will. No? That's it, Fort Pitt? Spencer. Okay, Spencer, come on up.
Thank you all for attending our NHS induction ceremony and the presentation of the Buckeye Girls and Boys State Delegates, as well as the Americanism Test Awards. In just a moment, the National Honor Society members will complete their ceremony and recess, after which you are all invited to join us in the board meeting room for photographs and congratulations. Before doing so, however, please join me once again in applauding all of our new National Honor Society members, Girls and Boys State Delegates, and Americanism Test awardees. Thank you. After the members of the National Honor Society recess, we invite all family members to exit the Commons and join us in the board meeting room where you met this morning. We ask the student body then sit down and remain until you are released. Will everyone now please stand as our members of the National Honor Society recess?